This is LA's fire chief, Kristin Crowley. And around 3 weeks ago, she wrote a detailed report to the city's mayor, Karen Bass, saying that her fire department was facing, and I quote, unprecedented operational challenges due to the millions of dollars in budget cuts Karen had approved 6 months earlier. Fast forward to today, and the fire department is being overwhelmed, and LA is being scorched by what's become the most destructive natural disaster ever experienced in LA. After, and this is important, just 2 days. That's it. More than 10 people have lost their lives, almost 200,000 have been told to leave their homes and evacuate. And the damages, and remember, on 2 days, on just 2 days, are thought to be in the realm of around $50 billion. And this is all while there's been complaints from firefighters that hydrants have run out of water or are broken, delays in response times, dry bush not being cleared appropriately, and shockingly, all of those issues and more were specifically outlined in this report only a few weeks ago. And they were predicted to be a problem. Oh, and that is just the beginning. So, let's stop the yap, stop the crack, and let's get cracking! Okay, let's jump into this report, which was filed last month, because it is genuinely shocking once you have hindsight. It is 22 pages long, and they even did a little simplified presentation at the end with visuals, in case brain rot had spread all the way to the government offices. Nice, fun touch, I think. So the total budget cut from the Los Angeles Fire Department was around 17 million. But specifically, the problem that was highlighted in this report was the 7 million in reductions in overtime staffing hours, which they refer to in this report as V hours. And listen to this quote directly, right in the summary. The reduction in V hours has severely, yes, they used that word, severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale emergencies, including wildfires. I mean, they literally said it themselves. This is their words. But let me continue, because this just gets worse. They said that staffing restrictions in their Fire Prevention Bureau is causing the inability to complete required bush clearance inspections, which are crucial for mitigating fire risks in high-hazard areas. And I mean, that is one of the key points that a lot of people have brought up about this fire. Because yes, this fire spread so fast because it was exacerbated by really high winds, but also overgrown dry bush that hasn't been cleared properly is what really spreads the fire so quickly. And also, if it isn't cleared around structures, then it goes straight from the bush to the structures. And you've seen the before and afters. Entire neighborhoods wiped out. For their Emergency Medical Services Bureau, they said, without V hours, the LAFD cannot deploy qualified personnel to these resources, which impacts emergency response and public safety. Oh, and they keep on going, because for their disaster response section, they said, the cut will also affect the teams making fire control lines around wildfire lands, manage wildland fire road maintenance, and post-fire demolition. Their specialized operation units, they said that the cuts would impact their ambulance and water-dropping helicopter operations, limiting the department's ability to respond effectively to emergencies and ensure public safety for large-scale public events. For their firefighter training and emergency preparedness and response, they said that these cuts would hinder firefighter training and safety planning, and that the fire department's response to large-scale emergencies, like wildfires, they specifically say that, is significantly, there's that word again, diminished, increasing the risk of both public and firefighter safety. Now, obviously, these, even though it felt like a lot to me, reading this out, these are just bullet points. This is 22 pages of specifically saying all the things that are happening now, specifically warning of all of the things that are happening now. So the question becomes, was this all true? Because either way you look at it, it's pretty bad. On the one hand, if she was telling the truth last month in this report, then those cuts from the mayor significantly impacted the firefighters' ability to respond and control these fires. And if that was actually the case, then California's public will be pissed, because they are paying some of the highest taxes in the entire country. And they are paying that specifically so you can have well-funded public sectors for emergencies like this. But then you have the other scenario. On the other hand, if she was overstating, how much these budget cuts would impact it, and she was just trying to get back the funding that they lost. And when she was asked exactly this, whether she was telling the truth or not, in an interview yesterday, she said this.
Would that $17 million that had been cut from your budget have made a difference in this fight? I would say with the lean forward posture that we took, knowing that a $17 million cut we had to take from somewhere, and that was from the non-essential duties and responsibilities. We pre-deployed the most amount of emergency resources that we could with what we had. We did exactly what we could with what we had.
So you're saying you didn't have enough resources?
I would say we threw exactly what we could with what we had.
Oh, and it only gets crazier because when you see this graph that shows the departments which had the biggest operation cuts and increases in 2024 and 2025, you'll see right down there, the second biggest cut, only above street services, is fire. And that is wild when you see that that is now costing $50 billion. Not saying that it could be completely prevented, but $50 billion. The biggest three increases were police, library, and housing. Now, in addition to these cuts, there's been a lot of criticism from Californians and locals talking about the fact that the fire department's budget is only 65% of the amount set aside for homelessness, which they have a budget of around $1.3 billion. And just to make that budget worse, an analysis from LA's city comptroller found that last year, roughly half the budget for homelessness went unspent. And I mean, to be fair, it's not like a disaster like this, especially in LA and around California, couldn't be predicted. One of the craziest clips that I saw about it was of Joe Rogan when he spoke about it sometime last year, and he spoke to a firefighter. Alex, play them the clip.
I talked to this guy who was a fire guy for the fire department. He said, it's just going to be a matter of time. There's going to be one day where a fire hits LA and the wind is the right way and we're not going to be able to stop it. It's just going to burn right through to the ocean. He goes, it's just a matter of time. We all know it. I was like, what the dude? I go, the whole city? He goes, the whole city. So
now you've got this huge crisis and so many people have been affected. All of this is kind of channeling into huge anger towards those who are in control. When the fires first broke out, the mayor of LA came back from a trip in Ghana to this waiting for her at the airport.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Can you back up, please? Appreciate it. Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
But also today, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, was confronted by a woman in the streets asking why there was no water in the hydrants.
That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now.
I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To
everything
fill the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally, you know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
Now, the latest from the fires in LA is that California's National Guard has had to be deployed not only to help support LA, but also, and this is just, this one's unbelievable, but also to deter the people that are using this fire as an opportunity to loot people's houses that have been evacuated. I mean, just imagine that. You would lose all your faith in humanity. You're forced to evacuate your home, and maybe you come back, and it's a miracle, and your house is still intact. You go inside, and it's just being looted. Everything robbed. That is crazy. There's also been a suspect arrested by citizens, may I add, for arson, and he is suspected to have started the Kenneth fire, which has burnt roughly 1,000 acres so far. Oh, and also, don't even get me started on this insurance crisis that is looming after the fires, and it's going to be one like California has never seen before. And if you want to watch a whole breakdown on that situation, which is crazy, I posted about a full video, Instagram, TikTok, go see it there. Because I do want to keep this video short, quick, to the point, because this whole situation with the fires is developing so quickly. Woo! Good to be back. There's also going to be a full news roundup of everything on Monday, because today we're finding out if TikTok is going to be banned. We're finding out what Trump's sentence is going to be, and also just so much else has been going on. I need a full breakdown to get you guys in the loop. I love you guys. Good to be back in the land of freedom. Somewhat freedom. I love you, bye. Woo! It is so cold in here. Can you see my breath? Can you see my breath? Can you see that now? That's how cold it is in here.